Well, it kind of starts to set the tone of unsettling.
Yes.
Like that we know something is awry.
Yeah, it's a
Because
very
we're like,
weird cultish setup.
why would they not allow themselves any privacy? I mean, like, is giving yourself over to your not only losing your autonomy to your job. Wow.
Well, and that really plays out too. They literally give over their personality and their existence to the cult of being next to the chef.
We're back.
Hey, Gretchen.
Hi, Martin.
So we're back with another episode and another really great movie.
True.
I really enjoyed this one. I was excited to be able to share it with you since it was my pick this time. I had a lot to be able to recover with because The Black Hole was such a good choice.
Aw. This is a good movie, though.
This is such a good movie.
It had these elements that were a nice surprise that you almost saw coming, but yeah.
The first time I watched this movie, I did not see this coming.
Really?
I did not see it coming.
I guess because I always expect a twist in this kind of scenario.
Oh, I expected a twist, just not the one
That we get.
that happened with this
Yeah.
one. So for this episode, the
Yeah.
movie that we're going to be talking about is
What
the
movie?
2022 The Menu.
Nice. Pandemic film.
Pandemic film. Ralph Fiennes at had Ralph Fiennes ever done anything like this before? I don't think of him as being like a thriller, horror, weird psychological film guy.
Strange Days, right?
Oh my goodness, Strange Days. You're right. Well, that one, I don't find that one to have the same kind of horror aspects to this one. That is a younger Ralph Fiennes for sure. God, I love that movie.
Right?
Catherine Bigelow.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's one that's been on my list of for us to watch too. So good call on that one.
Yeah.
Oh, so
We should
good.
do Strange Days.
Yeah, Strange Days is really, really great.
Yeah.
Yeah, on there. But this isn't Strange Days. This is The Menu.
Well, I feel like Ray finds a kind of, well, sorry. We'll get into Ray Fiennes later.
Yeah, no, well, for any of you that don't know or you're a regular here, this is the Check the Gate podcast where Gretchen and I watch a movie and then we talk about it, but we never know where the discussion's going to go. So by all means, our guidelines are that you can literally take this thing. There are no rails, folks. We're on
No scripts.
Yeah, every this is literally a rabbit trail all the time, so we could end up anywhere around any bush. So feel free.
Well, what I was going to say is that Ray Fiennes at this time was like still kind of coming off of the Harry Potter stuff.
Right.
Yeah. So we'd mostly seen him as Voldamort for a long time.
We had, but he kind of also does all of those very sophisticated English,
yes,
like somewhat Shakespearean influenced kind of more dramatic,
yes,
professional feeling
sure
films. And then he has that meal ticket of being Voldemort for sure.
Yeah. What did he do right before this? Anything that you can think of?
This guy is so prolific. There's no way without looking it up, there's no way that I can tell, because I know just since then, he did, like in the last year, he was in a retelling of the Odyssey, where he is doing that Homer epic. And then he had a film like a year or so before that one that I saw.
28 years later.
Yeah. Well, he's in 28 years because he's in 28 years later as the character that they kind of land with, and they play up his area a lot in the trailers and whatnot. And then he's kind of like post second act into the third act character in there. But then out of nowhere, a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, they announced the new 28 years later film that was shot at the same time, The Bone Temple, that comes out
Yeah.
in January, that I think is a Nia DaCosta film that is almost all about him and the Bone Temple area that he's got there.
Yeah.
So like I'm super excited for that one. And they pull that kind of religious, the kid that we open the film with, the kid who has the preacher of the father who gives himself over to the zombies in the beginning. And then we see him at the end of 28 years later. He's running his own little weird zombie cult kind of a thing. So now we get to see that with the Bone Temple. So yeah, I mean, he's doing all sorts of crazy stuff now,
He's
but
like
he's kind of always
punching
has,
all
I
those
guess.
tickets. He's like, why not?
Yeah.
You want me to do this? Sure. Say
Yeah.
yes to creative pursuits.
I can say that I am a really big fan of
Yeah.
his. His stuff has always been pretty grand.
But this was kind of definitely a role that I've never seen this kind of role for him.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah. Well, let's get into it. I can kind of set the stage for it. I don't want to give away the hook, but I'll set the stage and then wherever we land on this thing.
Yeah, we definitely don't want to give away too much of the ending for sure, because I think this is, even though this has been we're 3 years down the road.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess give people a minute.
Well, and I guess if that's the case, and our typical format is that we talk about it scene to scene on things, but we definitely dissect and go on various tangents discussing it. So I guess if this is a film that people are interested in, intrigued in, and it's kind of been on the list or lingering there, or we start to say things that are interesting,
we can give you a spoiler warning.
We should say spoilers ahead at some point in time. And just know that.
Timestamp here.
Yeah, come back. You can actually save this to your list. So yeah, well, the setup is that we are with a young couple, which is Nicholas Holt and Anya Taylor-Joy, and they are about to go to an exclusive island to have an experiential dinner with the chef. And while it is never like explicitly said in a spoon-fed kind of a way, we are very much in the beginning understand that this is a very exclusive situation that they are going to, that very few people get this privilege to go to this island and experience. It's a lived experience of a meal with this character, the chef.
Well, and apparently, what they also set up is that this actor or this character, he is the boyfriend. He is he's a food guy.
Yes.
So he's a foodie, and he spends quite a bit of money on experiences and different dining aspects, and has tried a variety of things. And honestly, when this film first started, I was like, oh, this is going to be like the most dangerous game or something like that.
Yeah.
Or like, we're actually eating people. Like, that's what
I thought the hook was going to be.
That's
like,
what I was like, this is going to be,
yeah.
somebody's getting eaten.
Somebody was going to end up on the menu. That's
Right.
where I thought this was going to go. And it does not.
No, which I was pleasantly surprised, because
Yeah.
I hate when I call it immediately.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, Nicholas Holt is very much a sycophant for this person who is very much a culinary star in the world. And so he's a sycophant for this particular person, but also he's kind of a foodie culinary snob. And he kind of keeps dropping the fact that he has bought certain particular items for the kitchen that are exclusive, and kind of gives us those little nods to, like, if you have this thing, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're that good, because you have to know when to use it or why you're using a thing. So he's got this very snobbish attitude about things. But they're going off to this, and it's very much it feels like a very first date with Anya Taylor-Joy, which we find out more about that later. But they don't really know each other. This is sort of
You get the impression that she's filling in a spot.
Right.
That this seat was intended for someone else, and that she was kind of a last minute choice.
Exactly.
That's the impression they're kind of like pulling from, that they're not well acquainted, but acquainted enough to talk.
Yes. They're not well acquainted. Yeah. But as they are awaiting because they have to take a boat out to this island.
We meet the other cast of characters.
We meet the other cast, right? And he's kind of giving commentary on him. Oh, this is the person who
this person is so and so's food executive food choice, and they bagged on this particular chef at this restaurant during, like, the one she's a film critic or a food critic,
right?
And he was kind of like talking to T about her being a food critic.
Right, and being a very critical critic that has caused like career-ending criticism. We have another person who seems somewhat familiar to our Anya Taylor-Joy character, so we see a little bit of that. We have a person who is talking with their assistant, who is kind of a washed-up actor.
John Leguizamo.
Oh, love John Leguizamo. He's so great. I will always... I love him, and he's always clown violator.
Oh.
The only good thing about that Spawn movie is clown violator and John Leguizamo.
I always think about him as like from Tu Wong Fu.
And wonderful. He's so good. He was great in Moulin Rouge too.
Tybalt.
Oh yeah. In Romeo and Juliet.
That is my favorite role of his.
Oh,
I
really?
thought he was so amazing as Tybalt. Like when he pulls the pistol and it's
a dance with him.
No, he's not Mercutio. He's Tybalt. Yeah.
Yes.
The King of Cats. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Super stylized.
Like that's when he pulls this rapier, he's like, or the sword, my sword, and it's his pistol.
Right.
And it says sword. Oh my God. And the gold tooth. I love that Romeo and Juliet.
Yes.
So that's, for me, that is always going to be the John Leguizamo that I will always be like, smoking. Yeah.
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 That's a good pull. That is, haven't always been a fan of that particular director's stuff. It's just not necessarily always been made for me, though I called out Moulin Rouge, and Moulin Rouge is great. Fantastic cast in Moulin Rouge who does all of that. So, and I believe Moulin Rouge came after that Romeo and Juliet that he did. It's a really like cool, stylized, like really kind of like modern street gritty. It's so
think that
good.
is one of probably the quintessential like Romeo and Juliet for the modern era.
I would agree.
Especially with using the swords and rapiers as pistols and the stylization, the sweet Dutch angles that we get in that. I mean,
staying with the original dialogue.
Oh my gosh. And just the execution of Shakespeare's words. But I could digress, obviously.
Yeah, this has become a John Leguizamo fan cast.
Right.
Yeah. Well, so, yeah. And, yeah, don't watch the Spawn movie. It's not good. But if you can go to YouTube and find any of the clown violator scenes where he's, like, dancing and doing his thing and all of that, yeah.
He's good.
He's hilarious, and I can't believe that he didn't just wreck his body being in a weird squat position the entire time, trying to be this weird squatty clown in the whole thing that turns into Violator. Right? So, but anyway, yes, John Leguizamo is in this, ends up being a washed up actor with his assistant, and then we've got the three
but the
business
reason why
tech
he's
bros.
there though is because he's banking on the exclusivity of this and being found at this event.
Yes. He's trying to be looked at as being what's the best way to say it? Relevant. Yeah. He's trying to find relevancy again. Sure. Yeah. And that's the whole thing that kind of plays out, is that we're looking at people who have the ability to exploit the extravagance and the position of this chef.
Along with the tech bros.
Tech bros are there. Yeah. We can blow this kind of money because we can, because we're a bunch of...
And they don't really care about the food.
They don't care about the experience.
They're just... Because this is the exclusivity of it.
The exclusivity, and we can drop the coin on this exclusivity like it's nothing.
And it looks cool to everybody.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and the senator, who we find out later has been there...
Multiple
a dozen times and doesn't even remember any of the things that they've ever eaten. And yet again, it's so exclusive that just going there one time would be a monumental achievement for almost any other person in the world.
Right.
And so we have this very, very, very high-end island of experience that everybody is traveling to, but automatically we've already set ourselves up with a bunch of characters that we either feel uneasy with or we know that we're going to be peeling back a bunch of envelopes to find out what's inside.
Definitely.
Yeah. Oh, this is such a great setup. And yeah, well, and I mean, really, to be honest, it's definitely probably going to be spoilers from here on out because of how this whole thing plays out. But,
sorry, buddy.
Oh, yeah. But it is worth it if kind of the slow boil thriller with like the big hook. Again, I didn't see the big hook coming in this one. If you're a fan of a film like The Invitation, I don't know if you've ever seen The Invitation. This plays out. I feel this plays out better than that one, though a masterful film by Karen Kusama. But that same kind of, we're definitely building on something. Something's up here. Something's up. Oh, fuck, that's what's up.
Yeah, something is awry.
Yeah. So we often talk about kind of the technical aspects of this thing. I want to knock out some of the technical aspects of how this film was shot, because I think once we get into the meat and potatoes of this thing and the story itself will probably linger there, because and I say the technical aspects because there's a good portion of this film I don't know how they filmed it, because the whole time we're in a dining room and we kind of have we have four major areas. Everything happens in this dining room, and we have a view. Nicholas Holt is looking toward the kitchen the whole time.
Well, the whole restaurant is the kitchen is open, so we see everything.
Right, the kitchen, exactly. It's all very much there. Like the kitchen is set up as a presentation area. That's part of the experience, is watching this. There's a garden. They walk through the whole garden. We don't see that though from the restaurant area. Yeah, and they talk about that. They had they did a little tour at the beginning for people. There's a smokehouse there where they smoke all of their own meats. They have their own butchery system there.
I think was part of the cell.
Absolutely, yeah. Their own fresh herbs and vegetables that they grow there, and fruits. They harvest all this. So, and this is the aspect of the crew story that comes with all of this, is that everybody that works there lives there, and they all live in this very militaristic kind of bunkhouse kind of a style. It's all open. Even the toilets are open, all the beds, everything. Nobody has privacy. They all live together around each other. They work around each other. They cook around each other. Everything happens together.
With the principal idea being the connection to your food and your art.
And the commitment to the chef and his perspective that he has created.
But they're all like, the idea being that they're bound to their art.
Right. And what does he say about the food too? You're not eating it.
You're experiencing it?
It's more of an experience.
Yeah.
In the whole intake and even to the digestion of it. And he says that in there, don't eat the food. And so we see this very,
I would not be very good at this, by the way.
Right. It's very much a cult commune.
Yeah.
That these people are living
I don't
under.
have that kind of relationship with food that I would be like,
I don't have this relationship with people.
Yeah, like I don't think I could do this.
Man, literally, when they're walking through there and they have all their beds there, but did you see the toilets? The toilets are right in the middle of the room. They had little dividers that made it up to like right about waist height when you're sitting. So like you're shitting right in the room. You shit where you sleep. At least it's not where you eat. But I mean, that was the aesthetic of this place, which was just so genius. I love like well thought out visual aspects of these kind of stories. Well, it kind of starts to set the
tone of unsettling.
Yes.
Like that we know something is awry.
Yeah, it's a very weird cultish setup.
Why would they not allow themselves any privacy? I mean, like, is giving yourself over to your to not only losing your autonomy to your job. Wow.
Well, and that really plays out too. They literally give over their personality and their existence to the cult of being next to the chef.
The cult of personality, rather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
And that cult of personality around the chef.
Yeah.
Which, man, that plays into a lot of religious and political aspects of where we're kind of in the shitter today on things, but I'll keep it in the film. But yeah, so with that, because we go through that little tour and then we're in the dining area, the kitchen is very open and it's a part of the dining area. Everyone can see into the kitchen, and the chef is constantly interacting. And we have our host kind of brings it in, but there's a point where the chef joins us, which is Ralph Fiennes. And it's very militaristic when it does, when he wants to command what's happening, the attention of the people as well as the people in the kitchen, he claps his hand and boom, everyone's at attention. And it's unsettling to all of the people in there, but they all have this open view to the kitchen as part of their experience. But the other side of that is that area that looks out to the ocean where this is built. And so we have those giant glass windows. And we're constantly filming toward those giant windows at Nicholas Holt and a couple of other characters. We never see any glare. We never see any of the lights or anything like that. We actually see reflections of the kitchen and things going on in there. So it's filmed beautifully. And that takes a lot of detail and work to be able to get that. But we are looking at the ocean, and that actually plays into one of the scenes where we've got the angel moment. So I don't know if that was built on a soundstage and that was green screened and then they added the glass in post and then any of the glare of the kitchen in post. And then when we get to it and we talk about the scene with the angel, if that's in post or if they literally built someplace next to the ocean and they just knew how to light and film this scene with real glass and real exteriors. That takes a lot to be able to do. And I purposely kind of didn't do my research into it because I didn't want to know. I'm kind of happy about not knowing, but talking about it because, man, film is shot so well.
It built into their isolation by having us as the audience watching them in the water. And so I think that adds to those tension building isolation moments because we recognize there's no dock like that's easy to find. There's only one.
Yeah.
And it's like through the garden on the other side. And
Yeah.
so that was like a sojourn itself, like coming from that to the restaurant.
Yeah.
So I feel like this is intentional in the sense of creating more of that isolation feeling and where they're being not only their expectations of them as guests is that they become part of it and that they're part of the falling into place.
Yeah. Well, I guess so. The way we're discussing this, there's vagaries, and we're kind of bouncing around the rim here of what's going on. So definitely, I'll reiterate, spoiler alert, to be able to then kind of talk about more of what's going on here, and not the scene to scene breakdown, but we've got these people who are in the dining area, and I find the film really interesting because there is literally moments like chapters where they stop and we have our initial appetizer and they kind of give you what the name of it is in this little breakdown, and then they show you what's happening. Like, so the people get their food, and the first thing is like these little kind of like cucumber ball things and whatnot. And it very much feels like artistic food. It's like you would starve if you tried to eat all of this, but apparently it's all been proportioned out from beginning to end over these multiple courses that they're going to have. So for each person by weight and appetite, like we find that out. They're doing research on all of these people. But you know, while things feel a little uneasy and weird as part of the experience because you're at this weird place and all of this stuff, it's still like it's so exclusive. You just have to deal with all of that. So we have our initial menu part, but then each time we come to a part of the course in the meal, everything starts to feel even weirder, and the escalation starts to move, and we finally get Rafe joins us, I think, in the second or third course.
Well,
when stuff
before
starts
that,
to get
though,
weird.
we also see the relationship between Nicholas Holt and Anya Taylor-Joy's character.
Yes.
We have that. We've kind of come to discover, like, obviously, we knew that she wasn't supposed to be there, like, that she wasn't the intended guest.
They've kind of hinted that a couple of times. It's like, wait, who are you? You're not this person.
Right. By conversation, but, like, the way he's trying to, like, push her to understand his knowledge of food.
Right.
And, like, this happens at each aspect of the meal. Like, he's like, you're not tasting it properly.
Right.
You need to take it and do this.
You're not smart enough to do this. I'm telling you how.
Well, that was later.
Definitely,
But like at first he's doing that. He's like pushing her to like understand the flavor profiles and things like that. Like, and I get like understanding flavor profiles because like I do that in my job and things like that. I'm expected to understand tasting elements and like comparisons and pairings, but like the watching this interaction and like her increase like irritation at it is you're like, why are you here?
Yeah.
Why are you even hanging out here?
At the very beginning, I feel like we can tell that there is some people who are possibly just getting to know each other, and then it kind of becomes increasingly aware that they don't know each other at all. Like, why is this date even happening? Of all of the places to have a date with someone that you don't know, why is this most exclusive place the one where you're taking a person who clearly doesn't have any appreciation? And even when like during that first appetizer one, when they bring those little cucumber balls in and there's a variety of little attributes around the plate and all of this, and they use this one little funky machine, and he goes, oh, you use this machine to do this one thing and all of this, and I have one of those things, and you have to know how to use it and just when to use it. You have to use it because of this stuff.
Right.
And it's that narcissistic, ego-driven aspect that like she's not into it. You can tell she's not into it. So, watching this and even on the rewatch, it's like, yeah, why are they dating? Why is this person here with them? What was the intriguing part of them being together at this? So yeah, it's a great setup with all of that. So as all of those aspects start to play out, every course becomes an escalation in the tension of what's happening in the room, because we're seeing the uneasiness of everyone as they start to experience just the weird, militant, cultish aspects of what's happening.
Don't forget the crying woman in the corner.
Oh,
who's seated alone.
Yes. Yeah, there's always this one older woman that is sitting there, and we come to learn. Do we want to reveal who that is yet?
Is she eating? I can't remember if she's actually
drinking wine. She's just drinking
wine
the whole time.
Yeah.
I think at one point in time she does get some food, but it was like a rejected piece of food from something else where she's like nibbling on it. But she's mostly just sitting there drinking. No, because it's drinking wine. Because I remember at one point she actually gets up and takes a bottle of wine from somewhere else and like walks over and like pours it into her glass to keep on drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we do find out later who that is.
Find out the temperature in the room is being raised as well.
Yes. The heat it's getting warmer and warmer in the
So
room because we see people are slowly starting to take items of clothes off. Jackets are going away. Scarves are coming off.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we get into, it takes us into, I think the second or third course is where the chef finally comes out. He introduces himself and kind of talks about what's going to happen. I believe that is the one where there is the rock that has the scallop on it.
Yeah.
And then it has all of the flowers, because that becomes our one, that's our moment where Nicholas Holt is speaking while the chef is speaking. So Ralph Fiennes, our chef, he's kind of talking to people and starting to create the experience for them of what's going to happen. And Nicholas Holt says over to Anya Taylor-Joy, "Oh, these are the scallops that they were collecting when they were coming in." And Ralph, the chef, is being talked over, and he recognizes it and kind of calls that person out, which we later find there's been other communications and whatnot going on, which is great. But at this point in time, we have a person they're speaking out of turn. You're speaking when the chef is speaking, and that is not a thing. And that becomes a moment of embarrassment that he kind of puts Nicholas Holt in his place.
Which makes him a super fun person to be around for the rest of the night.
Oh, absolutely. As if he wasn't already a joy. Yeah, we start to see that personality of the chef.
Well, wasn't there also an introduction of the person who created the dishes, like each at the end of each one?
Yes, we get that. Is it I think it's at the beginning of each one of who came up with that one.
Right.
Because it's the next course where we have the person who comes out, and let's see, is that right? That would be, yes, it's the mess, because that is the bone marrow dish that comes out, and that's where we really start finding out shit is fucked up.
Yeah.
Because the guy who was the chef, or I don't know their proper term underneath the chef, but the people who are cooking under the chef, he is brought out, and the chef introduces him. But we start getting that Lethal Weapon 2 thing where there's a big cleared out portion of the floor, and they start laying down a bunch of plastic. And we get introduced to this guy, and he created the mess, and they talk about it, and he's like, "But you've always wanted to be the chef. You've always wanted, but you're never going to be, are you? You'll never be as good as me. You want to, so what are you going to do about it?" And the chef steps away, and that's where the guy, he blows his brains out right in front of the kitchen in the middle of the floor, right around people. And they actually, I didn't even see it happen. They had moved like a big sheet of plastic to divide the kitchen from the dining room for that guy doing all of that. Because all of a sudden it's like, "Oh, dude, there's a gun," and blammo, and it's all over. And then they like come along and they scoot the curtain back over so you can see the kitchen, and everybody's still working away. Like, "Oh!" Now everybody knows shit's fucked.
That's when everybody starts to panic, and it's like they are like, we're leaving," and Anna's character's like, "Nope, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done." And Nicholas's character is trying. I can't remember.
He
their
keeps
names.
eating.
He keeps eating, and
Like,
he's
why
also
is he
like,
so
"Why
calm?"
aren't you eating?" And
Right.
he's like insulting her at that point.
He's calm. He's like it's not affecting him. He's just like, "Nope, he's in it." And they even think that it's the one person who is the food critic is like, "This is a stage play. This is performance art. That's all it is." And they're literally rolling the guy up in the plastic and hauling him away. And they're all negotiating with themselves based on her. "Oh yeah, this is." And John Leguizamo is just like, "Wow, those were really good squibs. Like that was really great." They're all trying to negotiate with themselves. There is no way this is real. This is all performance art for what's going on. He's an auteur chef.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're right. Anya Taylor-Joy is like, "Nope, we're done here. I think we're good."
And he won't. Her date won't let her leave.
Right, and
he says, "I paid for this night."
yeah.
And we're like,
Oh, yeah. We start to learn a little bit more about who she is.
right?
And she's been really uneasy around the senator who is one table away.
Who we were like, oh, obviously he recognizes her. And then when
Yeah.
we find out that she's a sex industry worker. Yeah.
Yeah. Who had been hired by the senator. Yeah. That was why the senator never wanted to, which
we also kind of discovered the senator's predilection of that one of the comments that senator's wife makes is that how much she looks like their daughter.
Their daughter, right. Who I had felt maybe wasn't with us anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. My mind went, ew.
Yeah, there's all sorts of ews come out. Which there's a lot coming out now with us talking about this thing. So, yeah, and we don't have to go scene by scene again. We kind of are. This is sort of a tough film to not do that with. Like it starts to feel like I'm going scene by scene, and I'm not going to. I think like taking it to this point where we have this first person who has done all of that is a great place to kind of like cut it off and not do a scene by scene breakdown on this thing. And we can talk about like the tensions and the moments and and what happens with each of the courses, but like the lines cross now. Like this film's just like crazy. Now we still don't even know what the final intention is, but this is clearly like this guy's fucked up and this is not what everybody thought they were getting
and after
into.
each meal, like each course and the chef coming out and talking about their creation behind the dishes and stuff, we're just like,
right.
Like the discomfort we're being set up with, like the one chef who comes out and she's like, I will never be a great chef because I won't sleep with the main chef.
That's the next course that happens there, that whole chicken breast thing. And it turns out it's like this weird confession. He was hitting on her and trying to sleep with her. She wouldn't do it, but she was so committed to him that she stayed there anyway as a chef professionally.
Like,
and he allows her to pay that back. So she stabs him in the leg with a pair of scissors. Everybody's chicken breast is served with a pair of scissors with it.
So good.
But it's the one where they're also like, we're not serving the men on this one. We're only serving the women. The men have to make a break for it and run.
Yeah.
And if you can get off the island, then you get to survive this. But otherwise, our crew is going to be chasing you down and bringing you back. And like a couple of those guys, who's the first one that runs?
I think it was John Leguizamo.
Was he the first one? Like one of them? No, I think it was one of the
tech bros.
I think one of the tech bros. Like as soon as he had said the men get to make a break for it, and like he hasn't even finished the sentence, and like that one guy's like fucking gone. Boom!
Yeah.
He's just like he's running for it, and they're all like standing around, and that's when he goes, "Oh, well, I guess the clock begins at 45 seconds," and everyone else is like, "Oh shit!" They all go to take off, but then Nicholas Holt isn't, and he has to go. You too, because he's like he doesn't fucking care. I don't want to give it away yet, but
wasn't he trying to eat her chicken breast?
Yeah. He was just going to hang out. And we find out why later, what it is there, but he had to tell him like, no, you have to run too. This part is just for the women to sit here and eat and enjoy this. You got to make a break for it. And they're like hiding in the chicken coop. One guy tries to get a boat out in the water, like
That's
all of
right.
this shit. Like most of them don't make it very far, but it's like, that is like the deadliest game kind of aspect coming out of it.
And that's what made me think, oh, this is going to be a deadliest game.
Yeah.
And like, I was expecting that from that point.
And I was too, actually. So when they all get caught and brought back in, then it's like, well, shit, what the hell is going to happen next? Like, how do you escalate any aspect of this? But the cool part is we're still dealing with the fact that Anya Taylor-Joy is this rogue aspect. And
he comes to her in that moment, like about that, because he's like, you aren't on my plan. Who are you?
Right. You're not part of the menu.
Yeah. And she was like, I'm just here taking a space.
Yeah.
She's like, I think your food is pretentious and overrated.
Yeah.
And not good. And he's like,
in fact, she's trying to have a smoke in the ladies' room at one point in time with the window open when he comes to her about all of this. But yeah, she's kind of not the loose cannon, but she's the link, the unknown aspect of this that he had not anticipated for.
Yeah.
Because again, we are finding out that they had done all of this research into everybody and they had nothing on her. She literally was not anticipate
She's
it
an
at
unknown.
all. And
Yeah.
so he continues to struggle with that aspect of her to try to find out
Well,
kind of
because
who
he's
she is.
controlling.
Absolutely.
And so
That's a great point.
he's used to having he contrived this to be a very controlling, exacting menu, and
Absolutely.
built on these critics and failed people and people that were just not very good,
Right.
and had created this to kind of take everybody down together in one way or another. And she didn't fit this. She's the outager. Is that what the word is? The outliner.
She's the outlier.
She's the outlier. Yeah.
Yeah. And you're right. That's such a great observation of all of this with the control, because we do eventually get to the place where the chef is telling why all of these people are there, and then why we are coming to what I don't consider to be the inevitable ending that I literally didn't see. But, you know, he calls out John Leguizamo simply for having been in a sellout movie that he didn't like. He wasted his off time to go and watch a movie, and it was so bad with someone that he had loved so much as an actor that he carried that with him. We have the tech bros, and they ended up doing their research and finding out these pretentious, douchey guys had been laundering and stealing millions and millions of dollars for themselves and their company at the expense of other people. We have the pretentious food critic who had literally, like we had talked about earlier, criticized people so much to the point that it had destroyed their careers and ruined their restaurants for no other reason than this person. And I love, there's a point where when early on in all of this, when one of the courses is supposed to be a bread course with all of the little side dish pieces to it.
Yes.
And they don't bring out bread. They only bring out all the little dipping sauces that you would have.
Yeah, that's right.
And so they give them a little wooden popsicle stick to kind of consume the olive oil and the emulsion and all these little things. And there's a point where she's like, oh, well, this has split. I would never serve this. And they hear that and they're prepared for her, and they bring out the bowl of it and they're like, here is another bowl of this stuff that's not split. I hope you enjoy. And then later on, they bring out like this giant mixing bowl of it. It's like, here's another little bit of that unsplit emulsion for you. Enjoy. Like, continuing to just rub it into her. It's like, who are you to make a call on this? Oh, I would never serve this. Literally a person who does not own a restaurant, who is not cooking, who has ruined careers and is willing to criticize everything down to this minutia. And the fact that any of us would care in this society what this person thinks, which we do. This film is so good. But so she, and then her little lapdog buddy,
Her assistant.
that's just constantly supporting all of the bad decisions she's doing. The senator who has repeatedly cheated on his wife over and over again. Like, all of these people are being outed for their sins.
And the mother, by turning a blind eye. Not his mother
horrible,
yet.
well,
the senator's wife.
Yes, and she was turning a blind eye to all that he was doing, correct.
Right. And then his mother.
Yes.
Is the alcoholic in the corner.
Yes, who turned her blind eye to the father that was so terrible to the chef when he was a young man, and he's never been able to let that go. And that's what a lot of this was. A lot of the things that he didn't.
These were all people that had slighted him in one way or another.
Right.
And at least in his mind. So he's megalomaniacal.
Yes, very much so.
For sure. And a narcissist and all of the above. And so I think that this is basically his giving them their just desserts.
Yeah.
His vengeance. And what a selfish vengeance it is. Mm-hmm. Like, we find out what...
but it's a little bit of vengeance on himself, too, once we discover what's happening. Or what's...
But also, but he's taking down people with him, like the assistant, the John Leguizamo's character.
Right.
His
You just made a shitty movie, and that ruined my day.
like to me, that's
Right.
like you know.
Yeah.
That's the.
Why are you so self-important? Why is your life so important that because you blew 2 hours to watch a shitty movie, you've got to take revenge out on this person? Yeah.
Right.
And his assistant, where did you go to university, Brown? Do you have college loans? No. You're going to die today.
Right.
Just because this person had privilege, even though they were a good person who hadn't done anything wrong. She had been skimming off of John Leguizamo, but he had also been treating her shitty too.
Right.
I don't consider her faults to be in there, which I kind of gave it away. No one's supposed to make it off this island.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and everybody that is part of the chef's team is in on it. They all know their commitment to Chef and his cult is to their death.
Yeah.
And in fact, we find that one of them, the one that he was hitting on, that stabs him in the leg with the scissors, when some of the women finally bring it up and they're just like, you know, we're not getting out of here alive, are we? No. And it's like, how could you do that? And she's like, oh, that was my idea. I was actually really proud of that. She's the one that came up with the idea of all of them dying on that night. That was the final piece for them. And it's just like, oh, shit.
You should talk about the angel.
Oh, so the angel was a really good one. And this is when you brought up his control and his megalomaniacal personality, which is just spot on and perfect with that. And the tech bros that are there, the repeated thing that they say, like when they finally figure out, all right, we're in deep shit here. Or even before that, before they realize they're in deep shit, when they're just like, hey, this sucks. Do you know who we are? Do you know who runs this place? And it turns out that they all work for an extremely rich financier who had kept the restaurant afloat during COVID.
Right.
And so this guy, the chef, was very beholden to this person financially because of all of that. And these guys were using that as leverage to be able to get their way to get special treatment, as well as them, as we find out later, been making millions. So they kind of keep saying, you know who we work for, right? You know what we do, right? You know who this is. And they kind of name drop this guy a few times. And we see a little thing happen at one point in time where we see a person walking with a big set of angel wings. And what happens is we end up finding out that he has kidnapped this financier and he has strapped that guy, handcuffed him, hands behind his back and all of this, and has put him in a harness and has him with the angel wings hanging over the ocean in a way like his legs are bound, his hands are bound, and then he's got these big set of
just
angel
like
wings on him, and he's hanging over the ocean, and
he's an angel.
Well, he's a piece of bread being dipped in olive oil is what he is, because they just slowly lower him into the water, and between the weight of the wings and his shoes and all his clothes and his hands and feet being bound, he just goes right under and he drowns with a spotlight on him for all of them to watch. And it's like, holy shit. None of this is going to be good at any point for anyone. Yeah. But we do get to that place where we start to find out the chef has kind of started to figure out, I recognize a service worker when I see one. Mm-hmm. What is it that you do? And she finally says, yeah.
She's like, aren't we all prostitutes?
Right.
In general?
But yeah, Nicholas Holt hired me to be here tonight.
Yeah.
And that was why she was that outlier. She was
like,
a last second
I
thing.
don't like your food.
Yeah.
It's soulless.
Oh yeah. When we get to that point too, and we start to get to that third act too. Well, because we have a moment where he's giving her an opportunity to leave, and so I'm torn on this. I haven't figured out if he's gotten to this place where he is giving her the opportunity to leave, or where he is giving her this opportunity for a last feeling of freedom, knowing that she's going to be dead with everyone else, because he gives her those keys and says, we're supposed to have this big barrel of stuff that's in the kitchen. It's not here. I want you to go and get it. my host was supposed to do it and she didn't do it. So here are the keys, go and get it. So she leaves to go and get this thing. Obviously, she kind of wanders off. She breaks into his place. She finds a radio. We find out later she uses the communication radio, but then that host comes to her and just says, I never forgot this thing. He didn't tell me to do it. She's got a knife and she's pissed off at this person. Why does he trust you? I was here to die with the rest of them. I have committed my entire existence to this guy and this cult around his personality. And then he trusts you with the key to come and get this thing that I didn't know I was supposed to do. So it was an interesting moment where I was like, I thought she was going to escape. I thought she was going to try to find her way out, and she doesn't. She literally goes and finds the fucking barrel and brings it back. And of course, she's all bloody and has killed the person that was trying to kill her.
But I think that because she's not a terrible person, this is why she didn't abandon everybody.
I guess, and I think that's a good point where she thought maybe there was still going to be an opportunity to get some, because I don't think she would have tried to save the tech bros. Maybe the mom, because she doesn't necessarily think that the mom's a bad person, but there's the senator's wife.
Terrible people. It was about she's not a terrible person, so she's going to try to save everybody by contacting for help.
Sure. And is it about saving them or stopping the chef? Maybe that's two different things that aren't really the same. Yeah, all these people suck, but they don't necessarily deserve to be killed by the chef. So I want to just stop the chef. I don't condone
murder even if somebody's a terrible person.
Right.
I don't condone them. I'm not going to celebrate someone's death just because they were an awful person.
Exactly. Yep. So I think that's a huge part of it. So
maybe I'm naive.
Yeah. Well, no, I think you're a good person. I think you are. I think a lot of us, I mean, that's what I keep hoping for. Yeah. You're a bad person, but you don't deserve this one thing. I want to keep believing that is an aspect of who we are to some majority. Yeah. We have that interesting moment with the Coast Guard guy who's actually fake. She had radioed in, thought she was radioing for help.
Yeah.
But that's that moment where then we're kind of in the final stage and she calls him out.
Yeah. I don't like your food. It's soulless. It doesn't taste good.
And there's one she uses.
Well, she saw a photograph in his room.
Yes.
Of him in an earlier role before he's become who he is, and he was making burgers.
Yeah, he's a short order cook at a little
diner.
Little dive. Yep, diner. Yeah.
And she was like, I would like, and I can't remember how they get to the.
There's no joy. She said
there's no joy in your food.
Yeah.
And you've obviously lost your joy.
Yeah.
Or something like that. I can't remember the exact, but she was just like, I don't like your food. I remember that aspect of it. And then she said, he's like, what can I get for you? And she had said, I would like to make an order.
Yeah. I want to send this back.
And I'm sending this back. That's what happens.
Yep.
That's right.
Yeah.
And he's like, how dare you send back my food?
Yeah. And she says all of those things to him, but he does. He comes around and says, well, what would you like? And she says, I want a burger.
Yeah.
He says, how would you like it? Medium. Do you want that with cheese? Yes. What kind? American. Oh, that's perfect. It's the only cheese that doesn't split when it's heated up. Yeah. And do you want fries with that? Yes. Crinkle or julienne? And he sets out to make her a burger. Mm-hmm. And we see a lot, and it's the one time we see him.
Right, we see him actually feeling good about what he's doing.
Yeah, he had a smile on his face. He had joy in making her that burger.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he brings her the burger.
Something so simple.
Yeah. And she gets it and takes a bite. She starts to eat it, and it's the best burger she's ever had. And for that moment, he's happy. He remembers who he had set out to be with all of that. So, but her eyes were bigger than her stomach. And so she asked for it to go.
Doggy bag.
Yeah. And he does. He makes it for her to go. Just like she's in a restaurant. She's kind of playing a part.
She pays him $1 or something like that?
she says, well, how much is it? And he says $9. And I think she hands him a 10 and keep the change or there's a tip. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then he lets her walk out before the final scene of all of that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The classic campfire, the finish of all of it, the masterpiece to his whole
S'mores
plan. He s'mores the entire restaurant of people. They pour all of that chocolate cocoa powder all over the floor. Mm-hmm. That stuff burns great if you don't know that.
Oh, yeah.
All that sugar in there lights up really, really well.
Oh, yeah.
So they cocoa powder the whole place, and they put chocolate hats on everyone, and they put these big kind of overshirts of marshmallows on everyone. And this...
Can you imagine being the people that find them?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're all...
Smells delicious.
I'm very confused as to how to react to this. But it's funny because there's a point where he had says to everyone, you could have all risen up against us. You could have all banded together and done something, but you didn't. You all sat here thinking that you were going to be able to get out on your own or you were going to be able to do something, and you didn't do it. And even at that moment, at the very end, they all sat there in complete terror and let him, well, not all of them, because Nicholas Holt hung himself earlier because of his embarrassment. That was pretty great.
Yeah.
He gets called out on his. But yeah, they all just let themselves roast to death because none of them had any courage.
No.
They were all cowards.
And all terrible from one aspect or another. But did they deserve to be murdered? No. But could they have gotten away? Maybe, if they had banded together.
Yeah. Possibly.
Yeah.
They could have at least tried, even if they hadn't. They could have. They would have at least made a noble stand out of it, and they couldn't even do that. So, this is such a great film. This director, tons of stuff, did a bunch of Game of Thrones episodes.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, directed like a lot of great stuff. And then the writers of this too. He didn't write this; someone else wrote it, but. This is, we talked about directors before and not knowing directors, and this was a director I had no idea who they were.
Oh, same.
Prior to all of this. And then you look at the things that they've done, they're like, oh shit, I've seen all of this stuff.
Yeah, I think it's just, but unfortunately, this wasn't enough of a hit that this person made a name for themselves from this. We all recognize this film, but we're all like, this is the Ralph Fiennes movie.
Right.
Like, we don't think about the director of this.
Right. Which is a little bit of a cinema sin because, man, I don't know. So, this movie, this isn't like a top 10 movie or a top 5 film for me.
No, not me either.
But it's a really great film, and it is.
I saw it in the theater. I remember
I did too.
Sitting in the back row of the Cinemark.
Yeah.
Because they had those I love Cinemark because it's about park loungers. That's outside of the indie theaters. That's my big box theater that I like to go to.
I saw this at the Hollywood.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a digital. It wasn't a 35 millimeter, but they had it at the Hollywood.
Yeah.
So it was just enough of an art release that the Hollywood had it, or it was just non-mainstream enough, I guess.
Yeah.
But it made its money. It made its money from its budget. It did all of that.
It wasn't a bust in the box office.
Not at all.
It wasn't highly touted. I mean, it was. I feel like among podcasters and things like that, this is a good film to talk about.
We were still it's 22, so we were still in weird COVID times.
Yeah,
a bit. Man, I
think it suffered from that specifically because people were not going to the theater yet.
Yes.
As a whole. But when it hits streaming services, I think it's done pretty well on that.
Yeah, and this is a tough movie to sell too, because if you try to sell it
nihilistic.
It is, but if you try to sell it on what ends up happening with it, you give it away. And this is really one of those films. Again, I didn't think that the end of this was going to be, I've lost all my joy, so we're going to kill all of ourselves and we're going to take all you shitty people with us. Like, I can see this being something where it's like a Saw movie where everybody gets their just desserts.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's
I've never seen a Saw movie,
insider
but yeah.
food comment on.
Ayo. I've never seen a Saw movie.
I've never seen a Saw movie either. That's never been my thing. I've been told I should go back and go watch at least the first one or two Saw movies because they're pretty tame compared to, and they're not like the torture porn of the Hostel films, which I've never watched a Hostel, and I'm not into the torture porn. Yeah, and I'm not into that aspect. So I might go back and give one of the Saws a little bit of a chance. But I think a film like this one could be a little bit hard to sell because you're trying not to give away what is going to happen. And so then what do you sell it as? The Invitation was the same way. The Invitation is such a good film, but how do you sell that without giving away what it is?
Yeah.
And that one's a much slower boil than this one, in my opinion.
I don't feel like this suffered from slow burn syndrome at all. Like, I feel like the plot moved well.
Yeah.
There was enough, visually it was so beautiful, like having this beautiful set, like where the restaurant and the water and the very open platform or open air dining room. I thought that was some of those things were really beautiful, and also kind of played a little bit on like tongue in cheek of like chefs like Ramsay and things like that, like these television shows that are watching like the misery of being a chef. Like, I hate to say, but yeah, like they're like entertainment. What is it like? Entertainment on display or misery on display.
Misery on display, yes.
Yeah, like I don't really like reality television very much for the multitudes of reasons. But like, this is one of those things. Is like I never like seeing people's misery on display.
Right. And a lot of them are designed to have the worst aspects of people
and they're cut that
come
way,
out.
too.
Sure, and they definitely cut it. That heightens whatever kind of craziness.
Right.
The only reality show that I watch, oddly, is a Great British Baking Show, and it doesn't have drama.
Right. You're right. I like that one. I agree. Because that one is even like, I think baking shows for the most part are kind of like that.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, well, so-and-so. Like, you know, they're not talking to the camera.
Right.
And you're like, ugh, that's kind of gross. You know, I always hate, that's why I hate watching like drag shows.
Right.
Because it's like, they're just like showing the worst of people. Like, I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, the pettiness and the aggressiveness in winning.
I think this is a kind of a take on that, like showing, like putting that spotlight on like those kind of ridiculousness.
Yeah.
And also putting a spotlight on people who are so exorbitantly wealthy that they're able to do these kinds of things without any joy behind them.
Yes.
I mean, because I've been to, truth be told, I've been to like exclusive events like with chefs and whatnot, and I have a few friends that are chefs, and I've been lucky enough to experience their tasting menus or whatnot, and it's just, that's a privilege that I've got to experience, but I saw it for what it was. You know, this is like, you know, like I was lucky to be there. I was the poor person that was there. I wasn't like I didn't get to pay for, I wasn't able to pay for my seat. I was gifted a seat or whatever.
Yeah.
But I've seen how those things kind of play out, and these were also like good stereotypes of the type of people that are at these kinds of events. Yeah.
It's the personalities of all of the people who were at the restaurant to go through all of this. You're pointing out such great stuff because the Nicholas Holt character, who we find out actually knows that all of this is going to go down. That's why he's not reacting the whole time all of this stuff is happening, because he actually knows everyone's going to die. He literally is such a sycophant for the chef that he is signed on to die just so that he can have the experience, which is also why he's got Anya Taylor-Joy there. He hired her to be the +1 because his +1 broke up with him. His girlfriend broke up with him.
Well, and also she's an ornament.
And she's an ornament. And he is so pretentious about what he thinks is his knowledge And it's different than the person who's the critic, because he's not even a person who's willing to put himself out there to be a writer for any particular reason.
Yeah.
But to all of his friends, or whatever his friend audience is, he is this person, like, he knows better. Not only can I afford this one piece of equipment that's special, I know when you use it, not just why you use it. I can recognize these flavors that other people can't. Oh, is that a little taste of bergamot in the back of that? And he wants so badly to be able to point that out to the chef and like be his friend, or be recognized as being that intelligent, or
we all know this person.
Absolutely. God, I'm trying not to be this person. I hope I'm not. But it's just, I love watching, because when his time comes and he's put in that spotlight and they say, cook a thing, and he can't do it. Yeah. And he's like throwing shit around, whatever, and he's just trying to chop up stuff, and they're all just like, oh, why didn't we think of that? Oh, butter in a pan? Great. No, man, how did we ever not think of this? And then, he ends up just going in the back and hanging himself because he is so mortified and embarrassed by being an absolute shit ass in front of this guy that he had a hero complex over.
What's the term for that? Like when you are able to talk on something but not able to do?
There probably is a term for it. I'm not sure what it is off the top of my head right now. Yeah. It's a thing. I would, I was going to say Dunning-Kruger, but it's not in the Dunning-Kruger realm of things. I guess there could be aspects of Dunning-Kruger syndrome playing into that, where you know so little, you don't realize you don't know so little, but you're talking about
that's me
stuff. No. That's not true at all. Not at all. So, this was a great film to go back and revisit.
Yeah,
and
thanks for picking it.
Yeah. Well, thanks for watching it, and that means that the next film is yours.
Me.
Absolutely.
Let's do Strange Days.
You want to do Strange Days?
Yeah.
I'm all for doing Strange Days.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I am happy to do that one. We have to watch that one together.
Yeah.
We don't always get to watch films together. That's one I want us to watch together.
I mean, it's a hard one, but it's definitely, well, let's do Strange Days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Strange Days is our next run. We will, we're
Turn
making
of Millennium film.
Yeah.
Wow.
We're having a Fiennes extravaganza.
Unintentionally.
That's right. Cool. Well, Gretchen, as always, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I love doing this.
I love this.
Yeah. And we love all of you being a part of this.
Yes.
And again, we don't ask for any money. We don't have a Patreon. We're not making anything out of this. So it's really about the joy of films and talking about them. So we would really love your help in being able to spread the word on the Check the Gate podcast. Definitely share this anytime you can. Tell people about it. Download it. Get those watches in there. If you see us on Instagram or on Threads or anywhere else, share out our posts. Come and have a discussion with us. Comment when you can.
High five us if you see us at the Hollywood Theater.
Absolutely. We're at the Hollywood. Come up and say hi and talk to us. We're making an attempt at being at some conventions that are around here and having our podcast to be a part of that. So please comment and discuss with us. That's why we're here doing this, because we like talking about this.
Like and subscribe.
That's right. The classic like and subscribe. So until next time, Gretchen. Yeah, thanks so much.
Thank you.